Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to be checking out 6 lies America told me about Europe. Life in the UK, it says. So, the channel is International Carl. I came across this. It just kept popping up in my recommended. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do a reaction to it. I think a couple other people already has done it as well, but I haven't seen it. So, my reaction, right? So, links down below for the original video. Make sure you go to the original channel and go show them some love. Hit like on the original video. That would be awesome. We're going to find out 6 lies America told me about Europe. Life in the UK.
Hey everybody, welcome back. International Carl doing another video for you. If this is your first time to my channel, please right now stop and hit the like button. Consider subscribing, and as always, hit me in the comment section because those that have subscribed to my channel know that I'm always active in the comment section. Now,
Hit a comment,
this
guys.
video, we're going to talk about a couple lies that the United States pushes into us as Americans growing up. And let's talk about it right now. Let's get to it right now. Lie number
Get into it.
one. This one is a funny one to me because in the United States, it's always, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're independent, I don't care where you're at on the political spectrum. You're always going to have a politician telling you that
they hate our freedoms, our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom to vote and assemble and disagree with each other.
That's right. They hate us for our freedoms. Can you believe that? As if nowhere else in the world has any freedoms.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I can agree on there. They do push the whole American, the freedom thing a lot. You know, it's just a constant, it's like a propaganda since World War II, you know, I think. And then, you know, this whole land of the free, like he's saying, you know, there's so many other countries that are possibly even more free in some regards than our country. So that's definitely weird. I agree with it, you know. So yeah, growing up. So yeah, I mean, the last couple years, you know, I'm starting to open my eyes. That's why I'm doing this channel, trying to learn because I'm realizing that it's not like they're saying.
Like Europe, you know, in Europe they act like, they act like if you come to Europe, there's just no freedoms. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe? You know, as these are Western democracies with Western values and culture that has been exported to the United States. And it's become its own thing. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but freedoms exist here. I'm still scratching my head. What freedom do you have in America that I don't have here? Let's talk about freedom of speech, for example. In America, you have freedom of speech. In the UK, for example, you don't have freedom of speech. What you do have is freedom of expression.
So it's just the way it's worded, right? The way so it's similar.
Slight different tweak, but let's give you an example. In America, you can be as racist as you want to somebody. You can walk up to me, walk up to any black person and say the N word.
Don't do it. It's not right. And I don't think that you can do that. I mean, I guess people do. I guess it's not a crime, but why? Why be an asshole? Why be racist? I mean, that's just ridiculous. There's nothing different about anybody. I mean, there is obviously facial features, skin color, hair color. That's about it. Come on now. That's crazy. I get what he's saying though. People do. They're assholes. I guess you can. I mean, but you can do anything you want, but why? Right? Why would you? If you're a good person, you wouldn't. But
All day long if you want. In
if
the
you
UK,
want,
you
but
really couldn't do that because at some point you will cross a fine line of inciting racial hatred. So if you define your freedoms based on your ability to call somebody an N-word or call some Asian American some type of offensive word, by all means, you can have that freedom. I don't need that freedom. But
I agree with him. Yeah, exactly. So I think the UK system, like he's saying, is set up better because it should be, you know, you're crossing the line there. You know what I mean? You're crossing the line. Sometimes, you know, freedom for everything isn't the best because there is people like that take it too far.
other people in America talk about it like freedom for guns. Ooh, guns, guns, guns. They want to take your guns. Well, let's see. Here in
What
the
do you need it
UK,
for?
can you have guns? Yes. Can you have a rifle? Yes. Can you have a handgun? Yes. What does the Second Amendment say in the United States? It's highly regulated. So what is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated. There's lots of regulations around what type of gun, where you have to store that gun, where you have to keep the ammunition, what do you have to do for the maintenance of that gun. Highly regulated.
As it should be. Look at all the school shootings here in America, guys. Look at all the gang violence and the gang shootings and just armed robberies and people shooting each other in the face for a couple $100. That's not an issue in Europe that I know of. And if it is, it's a very small issue compared to here. So, freedom does what, right? You should be free, yes, but you should have it within reason. I mean, come on, because the land of the free led to multiple gun violences, assault charges, school shootings. You don't have to worry about it in the European countries as much because it's more regulated like it should be. Man,
So you still have the freedom to have a gun. So if you define your freedoms as being able to have as many guns as you want in America, okay, fine, no argument. But I think that's a lie that they sell, that nobody here has any guns. Not true. Number 2.
yeah, this guy is making some valid points, guys. Um, so far, I agree. Make sure you definitely go check out his channel, hit like on his original video and everything like that. So I always try to do a shout out to the original channel that I'm reacting to. So don't just watch it on mine. Go show him some love as well. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it.
Social housing is a bad thing. It's something that you're supposed to segregate from the rest of the population. So, for example,
Misinterpretation. I've seen a lot of stuff about the social housing situation and this and that. Americans have a huge, huge misconception on what that actually entails. I'm sure he'll get into it.
in America, especially in LA where I'm from, or Southern California where I'm from, social housing, Section 8. Well, that's usually in a separate side of the city, not being seen. I don't even know where it's at because where I grew up was nothing but beautiful homes, single family homes, no social housing. Where here in the UK, just in Europe in general, it's all sprinkled around you. For example, here in the
Nice.
UK, I live in a beautiful big house, beautiful executive style estate.
What he's saying about how it's spread out here, you know, they segregate here, right? And over there spread out. That is a thing. And the people that, some people take advantage of Section 8 and, you know, whatever. Other people that have to do, you know, the programs and stuff like that. Some of them just don't do it because they're so embarrassed because it is segregated. Everybody knows that. And it's wrong, but the American perception and the way that people are, they're like, oh, well, this is the Section 8 place. Everybody over there's trash. They're garbage. And then they're embarrassed to be there, even though they don't feel that way themselves and they have to take the help. They know how the rest of the Americans are, that other people is going to treat them differently based on that. So a lot of them are afraid to take the assistance or ashamed or whatever because it's just the way that the society has built up a stigma around it. And then people talk trash about people that have to go on assistance and just belittle them in the worst of ways. So big difference, big difference.
Here in the UK, I live in a beautiful big house, beautiful executive style estate. I have a nice car, but guess what? On this estate and on several new estates, they all have social housing and they do things that are different in the United States or that they do here in the UK that they wouldn't do or they don't do in the United States. You can be on social housing, but guess what? You can partially own that house. So that way you can be on the track. So you can buy 10% of the home, 20% of the home, 50% of the home, and try to get all the way up to 100% of the home like me or you do. So that's a different strategy that they do so that social housing is good for everybody because that way the kids get to interact with all people from all social and religious economic backgrounds.
That is amazing. That is crazy. Yeah, they don't have anything like that here. Like that sounds like a decent opportunity, to be honest with you. Like that's That's shocking to me. It's this that much different. It's crazy.
And you as an adult get to work and meet and mingle with people from all different backgrounds. I think the neighborhoods are better for it. They're safer for it. Less crime, because guess what? If you're in an executive style estate, well, guess what? You want to keep your home value high. You want to keep it nice and looking
Yep.
new. And that's going to put pressure on the social housing to also keep their house nice, keep the estate looking nice and new and fresh. So I think that's a myth, and I think that's something that should be revisited in the United States. Number 3, in America, they teach you this, that somehow being a hard worker means coming in early, staying late, never taking a vacation, and definitely don't call in sick.
Yeah.
That is like the biggest mistake you could ever make.
Exactly. Here in America, if you have like a regular type job, and you're legitimately sick, they'll act like you're lying. They'll belittle you over the phone, well, are you sure you can't make it? Yeah, I just told you I puked 3 times and I'm dizzy and my eyes hurt. And well, are you sure? And oh, blah blah blah. And they'll give you this whole guilt trip, and it's
Faux pas you can make. I'll give you an example. When I was working for a large airframe manufacturer in the United States, I remember a friend of mine, we wanted to take 2 weeks off and go do something. Our managers looked at us like we were crazy because
even if it's your vacation time. And here in America, you have to work somewhere at least a year before you can even qualify, and they don't even have to give you vacation time at all. And then when you do get vacation time that you're allotted and you actually want to use it, they, just like he said, they act like you're crazy, and it's just like you're breaking their back, and oh my goodness, and the company's gonna crumble, and what are you doing? And differences, guys, differences. America is not all it's cracked up to be. I tell you that. Take it from experience right here.
2 weeks off and go do something. Our managers looked at us like we were crazy because we wanted to have the audacity to take 2 weeks off.
The audacity.
And mind you, we didn't take any days off prior to that. We just wanted to take 2 weeks off in a year so we could go do something. They were like, no, reject it, slim that down to a week. And I'm thinking, isn't that my time off to relax, to recharge my battery so I can come back to work?
And that's another thing too. It's your vacation time. You're entitled to take it whenever you want. That is what the agreement is. That's what they tell you when you get the job. But when it comes down to it, they'll reject it. You have to you have to apply for this vacation time and like ask them permission to take it. And you have to do it like weeks ahead of time. And then they give you the runaround. They'll deny it like that. And sometimes they'll push it off and, oh, well, we can't because we're going to have a lot of production that week and blah, blah, blah. And you have to reschedule your vacation plans because they'll fire you if you leave that week because they didn't approve it. So you have no choice but to push it off 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, 3 months, and then get half the time. You wanted 2 weeks, they give you 1 week, and it's, don't come to live in America if you were planning on doing that. Stay in Europe. Trust me on that. I'm trying to move to Europe, to be honest with you. Let's escape this country. Go somewhere actually free.
Isn't that my time off to relax, to recharge my battery so I can come back to work?
Yeah.
No. Now, I think minds and hearts have changed a little bit in the United States back from when I started working, back in the early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I should say. But that was a faux pas. Well, here in the United Kingdom and here in Europe, for example, it's encouraged to take time off. You get 20, 25 plus days off in mostly all European countries. I think by law in the European Union, you have to have 20 days off. So it's encouraged to take time off because either you use it or you lose it. And for example, I think Sweden, if I can find the article, it's on the screen now. But if not, Sweden is actually doing a trial where
you may not find the right one because it didn't pop up.
They're reducing the work hours to 6 hours to see if it increases productivity because employers are seeing that the employees are more rested and more focused when they come back to work. Number 4, America sells you this, that capitalism and consumerism go hand in glove. It's like this cycle. You have to work to buy, to work again to pay for what you buy, to buy some more stuff, to then work again and go down this continuous loop of working to live. And in Europe, one of the things that I find I think is a beauty and a benefit of working and living in Europe is that there's more of a work-life balance. As I just talked about in point number 3, is that you have time off to actually do stuff. And you don't just have this endless working to consume. Don't get me wrong. We go on vacation, so we're consuming what I would call, we are consuming experiences, but we don't live to work, we work to live.
Yeah,
And
it's sad.
that is a benefit of living in Europe, and I think that is great. And I think the US sells a lie to its people by
Yeah, they
telling
do.
them that you have to work hard to then buy stuff and never do anything. Number 5, which kind of ties into the first one I said, but it really is on the Republican right side in America. They always preach, especially during the Obamacare era, 2012, was all about these death panels. They literally produced a video where they were throwing grandma off a cliff because of social medicine.
Make no mistake about it, President Obama and the Democrats who supported Obamacare began throwing seniors off the cliff back.
The evils of social medicine, that you were going to have death panels if you got sick. I mean, how ridiculous of a lie that is. I mean, it's a bold-faced lie. I've lived here.
News to me. I didn't know that. First time seeing that. I've not seen that commercial. That was weird. Honestly, I don't know what that's about. We'll continue.
Here 11, 12 years, I have yet to ever see a death panel. I have known some older people. I know some younger people. I know myself. You can walk into any hospital in any country in Europe and there's not a single death penalty. What do you expect them to say? Oh, sorry, you had a heart attack last year, Mr. Carl, but since you had one last year, we're not going to treat you for this heart attack because the panel has refused your care. On a side note, you kind of already have that in America. You just have it through the insurance companies because guess what they do? Decide not to cover you. They say, it's a pre-existing condition. I don't think you can do that anymore, but they'll say that, or they'll find a way to deny coverage. They'll make it so high to cost to do it that you have to do it out of pocket. And guess what? Now you're bankrupt. So that loops right back to number 1. How are you free if you have to live with the pressure of going bankrupt and not being able to pay your bills? Because guess what? You have the audacity to break your hip, get sick. I don't know. You pick it. So those are the 5 things that I think that the United States lies or misleads its people on purpose to further whatever big business or whatever political agenda that they have to the people. I'm going to leave you with a bonus one, which is kind of strange if you look at it. Because number 6 is this. In America, every day, all students around the nation get up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance. You pledge yourself and align yourself to the United States flag and to the republic for which it stands. Now, that's not something that's common in Europe. In many Western countries, I don't know of any other Western country that makes its kids get up every morning. I do know of one back in 1938, 1942-ish time. Those kids used to get up and actually pledge allegiance to their flag and to their Führer. But I don't know if that's something we should necessarily be doing. Don't get me wrong, I love my country. I'm very patriotic about it. I love the 4th of July for all its, my country is never perfect, but I think it can get better. But that's mine. Hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. And like
Interesting
always,
point.
Click here to subscribe.
Interesting point, guys, about that the pledging your allegiance to the flag thing. A lot of similarities with the thing he was talking about. Not so good. I'm sure you know I'm not going to mention it. But anyways, that was amazing. 6 lies America told me about Europe. Let me know down below what you think about it, what your comments are. Hit like, hit subscribe, and have a super fun, awesome day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.